Well, and from personal experience, what happens is as the tolerance goes up in the user, as my tolerance went up and I needed more and more and the withdrawals became worse and worse, the detox that I went through every morning, one of the things I noticed was, looking back, that I started to not see the people around me as actual people. They started to be cardboard cutouts and people who would get in the way or could help me get my next high, which was never an option. And as far as the high, it became less and less a euphoric escape, and more it was something I had to have just to function each and every day. It was not an option. And that really leads to this powerless standpoint where A, you will steal from your family or whatever else to get high, and B, you cannot stop. The issues we keep having where these people, we have no detox for a lot of these people if they don't have insurance, and without that, they can't stop. That is not an option for them, and you will be surprised at how far they will go to get their next high.
System and just family and friends better support the recovery process that we've been hearing about?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Obviously, being open to the opportunities that are out there and being aware of what's going on with your child or your loved one or whatever, and directing them toward treatment is, you know, and that's something that, and Brent and I talked about this before, that's one of the things that becomes really hard, because often when we get a call or I get a call at the office and someone's saying, I'd like to get, you know, I'd like to get somebody into treatment, and then I refer it downstairs to my staff that are sitting over here at Beacon Addiction, what they'll say, but I don't know what to do. And all I want is him out of my house. I just want him away. I want to put him away somewhere because I'm so exasperated. We've run out of tolerance for his stealing, for his disruptive behavior, for the people he's brought to the house, and all these kind of things. So generally, at that point, it's seeking a lot of support from those family members is difficult at that point. But as people move through the recovery process, part of the most important thing is seeking those supports, reunifying people, making amends, working through into recovery, and that's the point that families need to reunify and need to support each other, and that can happen.
I've known for a long time working in treatment that a lot of the people that I take into treatment are not going to survive their addiction. I never know which ones they're going to be, so I work equally hard for all of them. I think it's very important to have as many choices as possible. I've been working in treatment now for 25 years, and when I came into the treatment field, it was very different than it is now. You came to treatment if you were addicted to drugs or alcohol, and you were not allowed in treatment if you were on methadone. As a matter of fact, abstinence-based treatment and methadone treatment and faith-based treatment still have a long way to go towards accepting that each one works for different people. There's not a wrong way to get better, and there's no style points for saving your life. And I'm not here to judge anyone else's type of recovery. I think we could all make a lot of progress if we took that approach first, because I think we can all invest in whatever treatment has helped an individual we know or ourselves, and realize that every one of those has a valid place. We need more choices in treatment. One of the things that helps some people survive heroin addiction is methadone and Suboxone. It is very difficult to get methadone or Suboxone unless you have money. The state of Alabama has one publicly available methadone clinic, and it's in Mobile. That's a long way to drive every day if you're in Jefferson County. If you have $15 to $16 a day, we have great methadone clinics that you can get on. You know, if heroin's costing $20 a hit, and they don't care what time I show up or when I show up, it's a lot easier to get that than it is $16 worth of methadone. I think we could do a great service to helping people survive their addiction if we can make some publicly available means for accessing Suboxone and accessing methadone. It's a viable choice for some people, and that choice needs to be available for it to be a real one.
I want to follow up with what they're saying, because and what a previous panelist said too, is that we need to quit treating addiction as a moral failure and really treat it as the medical problem that it is. And that includes getting everyone into treatment for all the different treatment options and not a tiered class or indigent system or the treatment for the wealthy folks. And it needs to, all the available options need to be on the table to best treat, because I agree with you, not one treatment works for 100% of the people. And I think expansion of Medicaid would go a long way in helping to level the playing field in Alabama.
I think there needs to be more public awareness of both that people do recover and ways to do that. You know, when I was strung out on heroin, there were years I wanted to get sober, but I didn't know where to go. I mean, they're not billboards for that. I mean, yes, for expensive treatment centers, maybe you might see that, but I didn't know where to go, who to turn to, who to ask, who to talk to. And it seems like a lot of people I know in recovery, they spend at least a year or two just trying to figure out, you know, do I go to a psychiatrist or do I talk to my preacher, or who exactly do you talk to about your heroin addiction? You know, I think there needs to be more awareness of that, of where the public can turn for help and for questions to be answered.